those first impressions, seeing Travis Hunter, what were your thoughts? What did you see? How has he sort of progressed?
Yeah, tremendous athlete. Love his energy every day he comes into the building. Has a smile on his face. You could feel his love and joy for football, and then he carries it throughout the entire day. And so he's just continued to make progress, be the best version of himself. I think that's the number one thing that we ask of all our players: come in and be the best version of themselves each and every day. So that's the approach. That's the mindset.
How how difficult is it maybe to, because he is playing both sides, how difficult is it for you to get as much maybe one-on-one or just face to face time as as you
Yeah.
can with him, and what do you guys have to do to sort of replicate what you would do?
Yeah, so Coach Cohen, he put a great plan in place, and now it's our responsibility to execute his plan. And I think we're off to a good start. And a big part of that is Travis. He puts in the work. Like I said, he loves football. Um, and when you got guys like that truly love what they do, we make the time to get everything that we need accomplished done each and every day. And I think that's something that he'll just continue to get better at. We'll continue to get better at as far as making sure that we make the most of every opportunity that we get. So whatever meeting it might be, whatever time we get out on the field, or it's a walkthrough, we just make sure we maximize the moment.
Coach, being back in Jacksonville, do you have a lot of opportunities to come back whenever you weren't in Jacksonville? I mean, you went to high school here. How often would you come back here?
To be honest with you, very little. My family was here with my mom and dad before they passed away, and but my brothers and sisters are here. But you know, this all season is so limited in what we do as coaches. So we really be on the weekends, and so I really couldn't take too much trips back to Florida. And so to answer your question, I really did not get a chance to come home as often as I would have liked to. But I'm certainly excited and blessed to be home now and making the most of it with my family, my brothers, and my sisters, trying to spend as much time with them as possible, as well as my nephews.
And sorry, just Coach, literally, what are the odds that you end up back in Jacksonville when you got that call to come back here? How excited were you?
I've struggled with really trying to put it into words because it's full circle. Um, my only thing, I just wish my mom and dad could have been here to see it because I know they would be, oh my gosh, my dad would be just going crazy right now. And so I wish they would have been around for it. But other than that, I mean, I'm just so excited and blessed to get an opportunity to come home and be a part of something special with Coach Cohen.
Coach, when you reflect, and I know you guys don't have a lot of chance to do that because of what's in front of you every single day, and you got to stay in the moment.
So true.
Right. Do you ever catch yourself and pinch yourself and think about Corky Rogers, Bobby Bowden, and the impact not only they had on your life growing up, but some of the things that you're now telling players? Are those things that you heard from them?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's never, one person doing it by themselves. To get to whatever level we're striving to be. And for me, it was to be a professional football player in the NFL. And then after being able to accomplish that, I wanted to continue my career in sports and basically paying it forward, giving something back as a coach. And so to answer your question, certainly it started with Coach Rogers, holding me after practice and having me work on route running and catching the football and all these little things, knowing that if I wanted to be the very best version of myself, that was an area that I needed to improve on. And so he did. He put me through drills post practice. Him and Coach Belger and those guys, and it helped me develop as far as a hands catcher, as a route runner, and then I ended up obviously being able to go to Florida State and learning from Coach Bobby Bowden, which it was a little bit of everything. When we talk about the person, it's who you are, your character, because he always preached faith, family, and football, and we saw it every day. It wasn't something that he just said and we didn't see. You saw it each and every day with how he carried himself.
What's the next step for Walker in your opinion?
Well, it's to solidify the position, whatever position he ends up at, to solidify it. and go in there and be, a 17-game starter for multiple years. And and that's what we see in him and Anton. They're both capable of going to either spot, and they're both capable of starting 17 games for us, going into the playoffs, playing in these big games. And it's very helpful when we brought guys in that have been in these situations. A guy like Patrick McCary, who comes in, he's been kind of like a glue guy around with the Ravens, who's played all these positions and he's played in all these big games, and he's just, it doesn't matter. If a guy goes down, you're going to move him over, and he's not going to bat an eye. I can go play it, which is interesting. It'd be good for those guys.
Ezra Cleveland as well.
Yeah, Ezra. Ezra was drafted in Minnesota, so we know some of the same people, which has been good. Getting to know one another. And this, surprisingly, as you watch Ezra, he's an athletic guy. You don't see it, and then you go in the weight room, and you're like, wow, this guy's really strong. I think he's won our lifter of the week twice this spring on the offensive side. So he's working his ass off, and he's just competing. He's one of those guys. He doesn't say much, competes. And he'll, every once in a while he'll talk. And say some stuff to the young guy to help him out. He'll give him the nugget to get him through the day. Just the type of guy he is.
And then a young guy like Milam coming in here as a rookie, has he held his own physically, at least weight room and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah. So Wyatt is like a bull in a china shop right now. He is a strong, powerful kid. He is transitioning from the tackle spot, which is a little transition for him, but he's working his ass off. He's another guy, you've been interested to see once the pads come on where he can actually stand, because he does have the ability to be a starter in this league.
It's got to be, just as an offensive line coach, just get us to camp. Can we put some pads on, right?
Yeah. It's fun. These guys, you go out here and, it's lovely. It's past season right now. Got to wait for training camp to get that run game rolling a little bit. So, but it's fun. It gives us time to work on our technique, because these guys always need that stuff. As much as they sometimes hate drilling, they realize why we do the drills we do. We just don't drill to drill. We're drilling to get them better.
There's one more. The Mark Whipple tree is an underrated tree. How proud is your dad of the UMass contingent, especially here?
Yeah, he's very proud of it. Liam and Shane and I have got in some of the meeting rooms together and told a couple old stories about things that we probably haven't heard about in over 10 years or so. And so he came down and visited a few weeks ago and just got a chance to see everybody, because it's been a little bit of a while since we were all together at that time. And so very happy, very proud, and he's just always asking, seeing how things are going. And obviously he's going to be a Jaguar fan and watching this season for sure.
Thanks, man.
I probably asked this before, but for somebody who knows nothing about quarterbacking or football, which probably includes us, if somebody asks you, what do you mean when they say you're changing Trevor's footwork? What does that mean?
Yeah, I think if anything, it's just subtle things that you can adjust, and a lot of it has to do with taking the classroom footwork. Here's the X's and O's and what's written on the paper, and then going out and applying it, but then being able to coach off that, and for Trevor to feel that after watching the film review and saying, hey, I was a little quick in this drop here, I can be a little slower, I can tempo this. And that's kind of where it just takes that practice, those time on task, the reps, because each guy you're throwing to is different, each guy that's covering is a little bit different. And so at the end of the day, we still have sticking to a script in terms of each play's footwork, but things can be, adjusted here and there as you go through that process of playing the play. Right. So it takes a downloading process. It takes a playing on the field, those reps that come up in terms of practice. And he's done a great job of the self-evaluation piece, saying right away, hey, I did feel a little bit quick here, or maybe I could, sit on this a little bit more and let BT work. So whatever it may be, and I think that just goes back to his approach in terms of growing and getting better each day. He that's his main focus, and that's what he's done, and that's why it's been such a pleasure to work with him.
Impressive in year 5 for him to be able to kind of accept the right word, but throw out some things he's done and buy in, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of who he is. He wants to do whatever it takes to to become better, for this unit to become better, for the team to become better. And he's put a lot of trust into us as a coaching staff, and he's taken a lot of those things and ran with them. And that's what just makes it a great environment to work each day. And you got other guys in the room, the other quarterbacks are great guys too, talking ball and talking the game. They've been in the system too, so we have a lot of great discussions in the room. And so Trevor's, just the way he's approached each day has been, unbelievable and fun to watch.
Seeing that each day, when you go back and look at practice, hey, I see it, you're getting it.
Yes, yeah, and we've actually had conversations and actually some things that have come up in meetings that say, hey, here's back in week one, or maybe when we first started out, and here's how it's looking now, and here's the result. And so you're seeing a lot of the progress that's being made. I think he sees it, and the unit is grown in terms of their ability to get up on the line of scrimmage and play fast, and the receivers being in right spots. So each day gets a little bit better, and that's all you can ask for. What can I learn from today? What are the plays I can pull that I could have been better? And leaving the room each day saying I gave my best evaluation of myself. I got better. I grew each day. I think that's all we can ask the players right now in offense.
So real quick, just one on Travis Hunter. The first time you saw him out there on the field, what was your first impression?
He's good. He's really good, and it's just I can't fathom him playing that many plays on offense and defense, just at a high level too. Not just doing it, but at a high level like that. Yeah, he's special, man. Just watching him move, it's just easy for him. So we are so excited to have him, and it is a blessing that we're able to get him.
Get him in the backfield a little bit too? Is that potential?
You know what? You never know. I mean, I don't know. He's got enough positions to worry about. So.
Motion him in.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. We'll figure something out. So,
thank you so much.
Yeah, no,
I appreciate it. Good to
yeah,
meet you.
appreciate you. You too.
How's it going? I'm Demetrius Harmon.
How you doing, Chad? Good to meet you. Yeah.
Good to meet you too. You probably already talked a little bit about him, but with Facial Tootin, and just what did you see when you first laid your eyes on him, maybe in the film room, whatever that may be, and then what has he sort of turned into so far? I know it's only been a few weeks, but just so far that you've had your hands on him.
Yeah, he's really fast. Yeah, he can run. Yeah, really excited for him. And also just the way he runs, really easy for him. It's simple. He's a smooth mover, in and out of cuts and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just fun to watch him as a runner. When guys are just natural runners, they just make it look real easy, and almost looks like they're just kind of jogging and they're still running really fast. And he's been making plays out there and showing his speed, so we're excited to get the ball in his hands.
What's that learning curve like for a rookie running back? I know running the ball, catching the passes, but in terms of pass protection, how steep of a learning curve is that, and how do you sort of progress a guy like that through easily?
Yeah, you have to start early. Yeah, that was the number one thing we started with, because these guys know how to run the ball. So we'll clean up all those little details on that, and knowing where to line up as a receiver and do all that kind of stuff. But they have to be able to pass pro. So it takes the longest. It's the most important thing, and it's the hardest thing to teach these guys. So we start now, we start early, and then we're going to keep progressing all the way through camp and get it right, so that way we're able to get it right by the time the season starts.
This running back room is kind of crowded. I mean, you have Travis, you have Tank, you have Facial, you have Clint, all these guys. Just, what are your impressions of this room? And I guess just start with Travis, too. What have you seen from him? What can he bring to the table still?
Yeah, he's doing a great job. It's just great to just learning all these guys, just their personality and how they think and how they learn. And I think that's the biggest part. Is just knowing these guys first and just having in-depth conversations with these guys, and that's the first part. And then, but on the field, just like he's been in the past, just super smooth, easy runner, just kind of how I talked about, like Facial, just natural for him. It's in his DNA. He knows he just does stuff right. He's versatile. Use him in the passing game too. Get a couple of running backs out there on the field. So we just put him in different positions just to make plays. He's one of those guys you just want to get the ball in his hand. So he's doing extremely well. Tank's doing well. Tank's been chopping at the bit to get in pads. He's kind of getting tired of this just helmet stuff. He wants to hit and run and get this run game going. It's been frustrating because this time of year, like, you can't get too much into these runs. It's too hard because they're only in helmets, and you have to limit the physical contact. And but he's ready to go. He's picking up the playbook extremely well. I trust him with all that stuff. If I need somebody to go on there to just do right, I'm gonna put him out there. Him and Travis is the same way. And then just getting these young guys, they're all versatile, they're all different, which is fun. Bashal, really fast, he's a smaller guy, but really strong. Lee Quint, it's Lee Quint, which I found out, so don't say LeQuint, but he doesn't mind. Fun watching him play, just do the pass protection stuff and line up as a receiver, and he's very versatile. Same thing how he was in college. 1,000-yard rusher, 500-yard receiving yards, and then Jaquindon, big old kid, can't wait to get him pads. He's doing right. He's still slowly learning, doesn't get as many reps as the other guys, but still looking for big things from him too.
Familiar with before, but how's it been going?
Yeah, I think everything's been going great. Getting settled in, whether it's settled into the area, getting used to the commute, getting used to the afternoon showers, but the beautiful weather for the most part here has been fun. And then the football part of it's been so seamless in terms of Coach Cohen doing a great job setting the tone for what we're going to be, what our culture is going to feel like, and then the players just having that positive energy and that open mindset to come in and be ready to work every single day and get better every single day.
There's a lot of first-time head coach, first-time coordinators. Is there an energy with that where people are excited to kind of prove themselves and embrace their roles?
Yeah, I think for all those guys that are in their first time, so to speak, in their role, it's also a role that they've been preparing for their whole life. So I think they've, whether it's Grant or Liam in his, first-time head coaching role or Camp on the defensive side of the ball, like you feel that energy every single day, and those guys attacking it with that mindset of, the confidence that they have, but also the openness to, trust people around them and ask questions when there's stuff that we might need a different answer to.
When you look at this roster now that we're getting a little closer to training camp, kind of what will be available to you and the weapons on offense, is that kind of exciting to get to work with that kind of group that is now being put together?
Yeah, I think from both the skill set and the attitude of the guys, just being around them in this offseason program so far, I think it's an exciting time, because you got guys that can work well together, can provide a lot of different challenges to a defense, and they've shown the ability to pick up the system, pretty quickly. And when you talk about, not a lot of time that they've been around it so far, and the ability to operate and run a multitude of plays in an off-season program this quickly, really speaks volumes to the guys that have been, the position coaches, how, what a good job they've done at teaching, but also the players buy in and willingness to learn and keep asking questions and having the confidence, if they aren't sure on something, to go ahead and ask it and allow us to keep growing as an offense.
Working for Liam, obviously, playing quarterback has been obviously very offense-centric. Is it exciting to work with him so closely and kind of get to bounce things off of him, and just what's your relationship like?
Sure, I think for myself and Liam, different stops along the way that we've been together and seen the game through the same lens, I think has been a great starting point. But then I think I've been impressed watching him, how good of a job he's done now in the head coaching role, where I know one thing that always stood out to me about Liam as an offensive coach was his ability to know all 11 on the field every snap, and then now seeing him in the head coaching role, and where it's more than just being the offensive coordinator, but seeing him in front of the room, talking special teams, talking the defensive side of the ball, and really his commitment to being that head coach and owning that role as well, as still doing a great job on the offensive side of the ball has been something fun to watch, and that positive vibe that he brings every day, and makes you want to get up, go to work, and have some fun getting better.
Is it really important in this scheme to have guys who've been in it before? I mean, is there?
Well, I mean,
is it tricky for the position to learn?
No, nothing like that. But it just helps if you have guys that've been in the system.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that's really any offense. It's not just this one in particular. So, yeah.
What do you think is realistic expectations for Brenton this season? Obviously, I know you guys have been really pleased with what he's done in the past, and now given the opportunity, kind of be more of a main coach next week.
To be a good starter. And whatever responsibility and duties that's called for him. To put anything else on it, I don't really know what to say to that. But I'm just looking forward to seeing him step up, and like I've been saying, just being able to see him sustain throughout a whole season.
I think he's more than prepared to do that. I feel like the opportunities he was given, he always came
Yeah.
through, and now we think he's ready to be in that.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. And like I said, it is a lot of work. It's a lot of time that he's gonna have to put in outside the building, and he's done it before. And like I said, it's just a matter of just him doing it consistently.
How have you I know we're still in the mix of learning and making it run correctly, but from what you've seen of the offensive plan so far, do you like it? How do the tight ends fit in at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was saying before, it's good in the run game. The way the mid zone and the system that we run definitely benefits with certain things. But yeah, the tight ends got to be versatile. They can be anywhere in the offense, and they got to be able to perform when called.
You have a lot of new faces in your room, so kind of getting acclimated and everything, has it been coming together for you, like with so many new faces?
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, you get a lot of different personalities that don't know each other, so it's definitely been a lot more quieter than I'd hoped. But no, in time it'll all come out. But no, the good thing is they're all here to work. There's no distractions. There's no guys who are in it for themselves type of thing. So it's a great room.